Hello everyone! Welcome to Construction 1992, a channel that brings together inspiring and fascinating moments of work and labor from all around the world. Here, we don't just see sweat and hardship, but also joy, creativity, and the remarkable skills of ordinary people. Each video is like a small picture of life, from construction sites, mechanical workshops, and farms to everyday jobs. All of them remind us of a simple philosophy. Success and happiness always begin with hard work and perseverance. We hope Construction 1992 will bring you not only entertainment, but also valuable lessons about the meaning of labor, the spirit of teamwork, and the love for life. Let's watch, share, and spread this positive energy together.
Meu Deus do céu, o que é isso? Meu Deus, onde ele vai?
Long ago, there was a hard-working farmer. Every morning he woke up early and went to the fields to sow his seeds. He knew that planting today would not bring rice tomorrow. His duty was to care for the field, watering, pulling weeds, and waiting patiently. Some years the weather was kind and the harvest was abundant. Other years droughts and pests brought losses, yet he never abandoned his land. The farmer taught his son, "Working hard is our responsibility, but results depend on time and patience. Do not expect instant rewards. A seed needs time to sprout, just as a person needs time to grow." This lesson was passed down through generations. It reminds us that both in work and in life, success does not come from rushing, but from persistence, trust, and daily effort. There was once a carpenter well known in his village for his solid craftsmanship. Whether he built a chair or a house, he always paid attention to the smallest details, especially the final nail. People asked him, "Why spend so much time on parts no one will ever see?" He smiled and said, "Trust lies in the things people cannot see. When a chair does not wobble, when a house stands strong, people will trust me." The carpenter taught his apprentices, work is not only about finishing a task, but about creating trust. A single firm nail is worth more than 100 empty promises. His apprentices remembered this, and later became respected craftsmen themselves. This story reminds us that in both work and life, credibility does not come from fancy words, but from small acts carried out with care and responsibility. Long ago, there was a mason known for always starting his work by carefully building the foundation. People around him were impatient, eager to see walls or roofs rise quickly, while he spent days strengthening the base. Some mocked him for being slow. He only smiled and said, "A house does not begin with the roof, but with the ground. If the foundation is weak, the walls will crack. If it is strong, the house will stand for a lifetime." Years later, a great storm swept through the village. Many hastily built houses collapsed, but the ones with strong foundations stood firm. Only then did people realize the value of patience and care. The mason's lesson is clear. In work and in life, lasting success requires a solid foundation. That foundation may be knowledge, integrity, or trust. Even if unseen, it is what keeps us steady when storms arrive.
हे प्रभु हे हरिराम कृष्ण जगन्नाथ प्रेमानंद ये क्या बताओ की बात है गमछा
On a small island, there lived a fisherman who went to sea every day. He never caught more than he needed, just enough for his family and to sell at the market. A wealthy merchant once asked him, "Why don't you catch more fish and become rich?" The fisherman smiled and replied, "If I take too much, the sea will be empty and I will be exhausted. I need time to rest, to live joyfully with my family. The sea gives me fish, and I must return balance to the sea." The merchant did not understand, but years later, greedy fishermen had emptied their waters while he still lived peacefully, his sea still abundant. This story teaches us that work is not only about earning, but also about balance. Knowing what is enough and stopping at the right time allows us to keep our health, our happiness, and the sustainability of both work and life.
El patrón, ¿dónde está mi trabajador estrella?
There was an old seamstress in a village known not for sewing quickly, but for her careful, steady stitches. One customer asked her, "Why are you so meticulous, even with the stitches hidden inside where no one can see?" She smiled and said, "True beauty does not lie in what people see at first glance, but in the perfection that comes from every small detail." She taught her children and grandchildren. In both work and life, neglecting a small detail can ruin an entire achievement. But if you care for every stitch, the whole garment will be strong and beautiful, and the person wearing it will feel the love you have sown into it. This story reminds us that labor is not just about finishing something big, but about appreciating the small parts. Carefulness and attention to detail are what give true and lasting value to life.
The film that you are about to see is an account of the tragedy which befell the group.
I've never seen a boss like this. No, that's a good one. I wonder if it's got a spring. I wonder if it's got a spring under it.
It's like but at the same time I don't know, because then sometimes it's like
In a small town, there was a mechanic well known not only for fixing broken machines, but also for the kindness in his heart. Farmers brought their broken tractors, and while repairing, he would listen to their struggles with poor harvests. Miners came with broken drills, and he not only replaced the parts, but also comforted them about their fears of losing work. One day, his apprentice asked, "Master, why do you spend more time listening to people than repairing the machines?" The mechanic smiled and said, "Machines can be fixed with tools, but tired hearts need healing. People don't come here just to get their machines running, but to find a little hope to keep going." This story teaches us that labor is not only about producing results, but also about offering comfort, connection, and healing. A true craftsman is not only skillful with his hands, but also compassionate with his heart. Long ago, a young boy asked to apprentice at a blacksmith's forge. At first, he was eager to swing the hammer and forge shining blades like his master. But the blacksmith only gave him small tasks, sweeping the floor, gathering coal, tending the fire. The boy grew frustrated, thinking he was being underestimated. One day, he secretly tried forging a knife, but as soon as it cooled, the blade cracked. It was brittle and weak. The master looked at it and said, "You don't yet understand how to keep the fire, or what heat the steel requires. Small tasks teach you the greater ones. Whoever disdains small work will never succeed at great work." From then on, the boy worked diligently, realizing that humility was the path to mastery. Years later, he became a skilled blacksmith, yet always reminded his apprentices, To master your craft, you must first respect the small steps and the lessons they hold.
Tem as manhas, não entra não. Aqui tem as manhas, ó. E aí?
Та я з вікна дивлюся, як мої сусіди в Європі рубають дрова. Цікаво дуже.
There was a humble gardener who lived simply. Each season he planted flowers and fruit trees. When the fruits ripened, he never kept them all to himself. He shared them with neighbors and always left some for the children in the village. People asked, "Why don't you sell everything and earn more money?" He simply smiled and said, "Fruits are like people. The more you give, the more they grow. If I keep everything only for myself, the soil will become barren." Years later, his garden became the greenest and most flourishing in the region. Villagers often visited, not only to ask for seeds, but also to listen to his stories. He taught, true labor is not only about producing results, but also about planting joy and connection in others' hearts. Giving does not make us poorer, it makes life richer and more beautiful. This story reminds us that both work and life follow the cycle of giving and receiving. When we share, we receive even more, not only in material things, but in love and happiness.
La ocurrencia del venezolano, mira, es que no somos inteligentes.
There was once a potter renowned in his village. One day, while shaping a clay vase, he accidentally made the rim uneven. Instead of discarding it, he studied it carefully and had an idea. He bent the vase further, added new patterns to complement the flaw, and in the end, it became his most unique and admired piece. His apprentice asked, "Master, aren't you afraid of mistakes?" He smiled and replied, "Mistakes are only frightening if you give up. If you face them, they push you to be more creative. Sometimes imperfection itself creates the most unique beauty." From then on, the craftsman taught his apprentices that in work as in life, no one can avoid errors. What matters is not avoiding mistakes, but learning how to turn them into opportunities, transforming failure into experience and imperfection into uniqueness.
Ali bu ne biçim iş lan? Şikayet etme. Tehlike sınıfı yüksek işlerin yevmiyesi daha fazla oluyor.
हे राम कृष्ण जगन्नाथ प्रेमानंद ये क्या हुआ गला में पानी आ गया गामछा भी खुल गया मेरा
Thank you for watching until the end of today's video. Through these simple yet meaningful stories, we realize that labor is not only a way to make a living, but also a journey of finding value, trust, and happiness. Every drop of sweat, every small effort contributes to something greater. Whether you are a farmer, a carpenter, a mason, or simply someone striving every day, your work carries within it a beautiful philosophy of life. We hope this video has given you moments of reflection and inspiration to keep working diligently and patiently on your own path. Don't forget to subscribe to Construction 1992 to join us in spreading the spirit of hard work and the beauty found in everyday moments. See you again in the next video.